Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Season 1, Episode 4. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, so the show started, which is, where it ended last week. Anthony having his emotional breakdown about how the family was all against him. He needs everybody to be in his corner the same way that they rally around LaToya whenever she wants to do something. He wants the same for him. He doesn't have a big family, so LaToya's family is his family. He goes, he puts a lot of emphasis on how LaToya's parents feel about him. So he's just wanting to, make sure that he has that same support. But he's crying and carrying on. And LaToya was like, I knew it. I knew that there was still more inside of you, and that you feel a way about me towards me about all of this. I knew that there was some resentment there. And he was like, it's not resentment. It's not resentment. He just feels disappointed or sad, but it's not resentment or hurt. He felt hurt, he said, but it is some resentment there. If you're going to keep on bringing back the fact that, you went to Atlanta and the whole family was against you, and that you do resent her for, one, presenting it to the family the way that you didn't think that it should have been presented. Two, you had something that you thought was going to be good for your family, and she was questioning it as your role as the leader of this family. It's all kind of ways that you feel that, you're trying to say that you were hurt, but there is some resentment there. LaToya is exactly right. The people that they went out on the boat with, are just telling them that, yeah, you just got to work through it. It's going to be okay, though. This is nothing that Anthony intends on leaving his wife or his wife leaving him. But yeah, Atlanta is still very much a sore spot. I was like, it really is, because this is episode 4 and we've been hearing about Atlanta the whole time. So they just gonna deal with it. But in the meantime, let's drink to opulence wine. Okay, to opulence. Later on, we see the family. He says that it's a given. They go to church every Sunday, no exceptions, so they get all gussied up and they're going to hear the good word of LaToya's father, pastor of the church. His mom is also a pastor at the church. He is looking forward to possibly talking to her father after service. So once church is over, he goes and lets LaToya and the kids get in the car, get comfortable, turn on the air and everything, and then he goes and talks to the bishop. And the bishop you can tell that he cares about his son-in-law. And the bishop is just telling him, when Anthony tells him how he felt the family didn't support him and what he was doing, Bishop tells him, listen, I know you wanted to do that whole Disney Marvel situation, but you had a son here who was having problems, who needed his father. He's having bullying issues, racial issues at school. His mom didn't really know how to handle it. She needed you to be here with him. You weren't here. So Bishop tells him sometimes it's better to wait on things and then to just jumping out there and doing it. For example, in this instance, you left, you put your family in jeopardy. It damn near broke you guys up. So you need to, really listen to God. If God is telling you something, maybe God is not saying right now, maybe eventually, you're going to have to get the spirit of discernment up in there. Okay. But Bishop didn't back off and didn't tell Anthony, that he was right in doing what he wanted to do. He was just like, no. Your wife needed you, so you should have been here. He said he's sorry if he made Anthony feel away, which is never really an apology. Okay, I done already told you made me feel away, so obviously yes. But the father was just like, if I made you feel like that, I'm sorry. But basically, no, you shouldn't. You should have been right there with your wife. Anthony doesn't want to have any issues with the bishop. He just wanted to make sure that he clarified. So they still okay. They hug it out. They love each other and everything. So, like I said, no family is breaking up, but Bishop still had to make it clear that Anthony possibly didn't make the right choice in going down to Atlanta for 8 months. Now, jumping over to Kobe and Russell. Child. So Kobe has a friend, Chelsea, that comes over, that's going to help her do some things. But before she goes to talk to Kobe, Chelsea is talking to Russell about the surprise birthday party. Russell was just like, I kind of want to surprise her, so don't say nothing. But he's gonna have this big party. He already got the cake and he got the people decorating and the foods and all of that. They got to get the invites out. But you know what? Let's just hold off on the invites. Let's kind of wait and send the invites out, later on so that the surprise doesn't get spoiled. But you think you can help me with that? Chelsea says yes, she can help him with that. So after she finishes talking to Russell, she goes and she's talking to Colby. And Colby says that Chelsea is her ace boon coon. That is her ride or die. She's just a good time. She always down for whatever. We got to get it done. She gonna be that person. This is her girl, So the girl comes in and she's talking about, and remember Colby is an influencer, and she's talking to her about a possible collaboration that she wants to have with Christina. So there's a jeweler out there apparently in Detroit that named Harper Ray, and Colby wants to do a collaboration with Christina with Harper Ray, and apparently let Colby tell it, Harper Ray told her to get in touch with Christina so that they can get this whole thing, off the ground and going. She's been trying to get in touch with Christina, but Christina's been kind of dragging her feet on this one and hasn't been returning her text messages, okay, or her calls. But she don't really know what's going on with Christina, but maybe she's busy and everything, and she's going to continue to try to reach out and contact her because this collab would be a good thing. So she's going to try to get that in the works with Christina. Later on, we see that damn Russell, y'all. Russell is at the gym. And Russell say he don't know the whole ins and outs of the whole gym business or whatever. So that's the reason why he's there today. So he can sit down or get a walkthrough with the guy that owns the gym currently, and just so that the guy can just kind of really get him up to speed on what it takes to run this gym. Okay. So he's talking to the guy, and the guy is telling them basic stuff. This is where, your women, when they come and work out, they usually be over there on the machines. So you got the machines over here, and, it's a whole bunch of stuff. You got to do inventory. You got to know how many smoothies you made. You got to know how many people that came in. You got to know how many people that left. You got to know. I was like, all of this seems to be common sense to me. But, you got to make it plain to Russell, because Russell, he ain't the sharpest knife in the block, baby. He's not. What's important, though, is the man does tell him that it took about 2 or 3 years before he was able to make a profit. So don't think you about to jump in here and that it's about to just happen right away. And Russell was just like, I surely hope it don't take that long to, to turn this thing around. He thinking maybe about a year. The man just told you himself, okay? But listen, Russell, maybe he know better. Stupid ass. But he tells the guy he gonna talk to his wife about it. He don't make no decisions without consulting with his wife. So there's that. We'll see how it goes from there. Now let's jump over to Christina. So Christina tells us that she hasn't spoken to Brandon since the wine tasting. They don't tell us the times, but we find out in this conversation that it's only been like a day or two, which is still a long time to not speak to your husband, especially if you guys had a fight and then you ain't talking to him, nigga. So, yeah. So anyway, they're meeting up today because they're going to meet with their counselors on the Zoom. Okay. So she's hoping that Brandon is going to show up so that they can see if they can get to the bottom of what this newest issue is with them. Brandon does show up because he said that he hates not being able to speak to his wife. I said, boy, you surely wouldn't know it when you talk to her. Okay. It's funny how Brandon is one way in his confessionals and totally different in person. I mean, just the epitome of gaslighting anyway. So the counselors was just like, so what's been going on? Oh, we ain't been talking. I ain't talked to him. He ain't been at the house. He spent the night out, over the weekend. That's what Christina said. They was like, oh no, that's not good. Brandon, why are you doing that? Brandon says, well, Brandon is just trying to get his feet wet back in the industry and everything. He trying to be popping out there in them Detroit streets. I hate when people use young slang with like older people. It's like, I'm sure they know what popping out there in them streets mean, but it's just sort of like, I need you to pick better words. Synonyms, okay? But he was just like, yeah, he trying to get popping out there in them streets again. And Christina, he feel like Christina holds him back. And Christina don't like that narrative. She don't try to hold him back, okay? But I know she wanted to be like, listen, counselor, we here, okay? We here. Like, you already know what I go through with Brandon. And she gives him the freedom to do what he needs to do, but Brandon ain't right, But she said that Brandon makes her feel like, he wishes that he didn't get married. Those are the kind of things that he says. And he says, oh, you said something like that. And she was just like, no, you're not fixing to put that on me. We ain't never heard Christina say that she didn't want to be married. We have heard Brandon say things along those lines plenty of times, only episode 4. Okay? She was just like, no, I didn't say that. She said, I said that we can be done if that's what you want. Okay? But no, I didn't never say that I wanted this marriage to be over. So, semantics, child. They arguing back and forth, and they talking to the counselors, and the counselors telling them how, like, they need to get on the same page. Y'all can't have this whole tit for tat. He said something, she said something. It's just like, at one point, somebody gonna have to be mature enough to have just a conversation with the other person, and it's gonna be good, So she said, yeah, she know that she need to be better with not saying mean things, and Brandon says he knows that too, so they're going to work on it. Okay, she doesn't want her husband to resent her, but Christina wants to feel safe and protected as well, and Brandon doesn't make her feel that. So that's the new assignment, is for them to work on getting back to each other. And so then Brandon apologizes, that he doesn't want to jeopardize what they have, and he's sorry, and he would open up more and tell her more. And she was just like, wow, I'm really surprised about this turn in Brandon. Like, he's never said. I said, girl, he apologizes every episode. What you mean you ain't never heard this man say nothing? He apologized in the fucking lavender fields. Like, he apologized. Like, y'all go round and round in circles. And you trying to act like this the first time that you heard this boy say. It's just like, what is wrong with Brandon and Christina? Okay, but I guess the fact that he said it a different way, maybe this time, she feeling like Brandon is being authentic in his feelings. So if he can work on it, then so can she. So, they kiss it out, and these two are back on the same page again, at least until the next episode. Now, let's talk about when everybody went skating, shall we? So Anthony says that, he's invited all of his friends to the east side Detroit. This is where he went to school. And we're going to do some skating today. Okay, it's a skating rink. I'm assuming maybe it wasn't in the best of neighborhoods, but like I said, it's nostalgic. That's where he grew up. That's where he wanted everybody to come, and everybody just sort of like, ooh, what is over here? I was like, well, what's wrong with the east side of Detroit? And they was like, how you pick this place? Yeah, this is where he grew up. Anyway, y'all get y'all shoes, y'all skates on, and we gonna have a good time. They was like, ooh, Brandon, Anthony, I'm surprised that you even got on skates. You a germaphobe. And he was like, I got on 3 or 4 pair of socks. He gonna throw them out when he take them off. I was like, a germaphobe would have their own damn skates. All right, but that's neither here nor there. Christina and Brandon say that they can't skate. Well, Brandon says that, he hasn't skated in a long time, but the last time he didn't do well. Christina has a hurt foot, so she's not going to be skating at all. But Brandon goes on and rents him a pair of skates, and he gonna get out there on the floor as well. Colby gets there with Chelsea, and everybody was like, well, where's Russell? And she was just like, I don't know. My husband be out doing all kind of stuff. I just figure I'll see him when I see him. And then on that note, Russell comes in. Okay, so Russell want to talk to Colby real fast. Hey, baby, come here for a second. Let me talk to you. Like, that Russell's just stupid. Hey, yeah, so I went to the gym, and I'm about 85% sold on it, that I'm going to get the gym, And she was just like, wait a minute, what? Like, you went to meet with the person about the gym, and you just telling me this? He was like, yeah, you ain't gonna be at everything. This is going to be my decision. If I say we're going to get this gym, basically, he trying to put his foot down. And she was just like, no, I told you that if we going to do this gym thing, I need to be on the front end. I don't want to be on the back end. You can't go and have a meeting and then tell me about it, and he's all firm and it's, babies, sometimes when I go do these things, you just going to have to take it from take it from me that it's going to be the right thing to do, but I might bring you in when I was just like, I feel like Russell had a conversation with her father, and her father was like, put your foot down, boy, and make it be known what you want. And I was just like, boy, now, I don't know Colby that well, but I kind of have a feeling that this ain't going to be the best way to handle this. He really tried to tell her too, and she just looking at him. He want to just update her. She says, no, I shall be at all of the meetings from here on out. Okay, I need you to let me know when you're going to talk to somebody about a damn gym purchase. Come telling her he 85% sold on it. Then he went back and said, no, it wasn't no decisions made. I'm just saying. Okay, just say next time have me at the meeting. Got time to be sitting here talking to Russell's dumb ass. Back in the skate rink. So, you know, we see the guys, they all skating around. It looked like it's more so the men that's out there skating than the women. And, but we finally get this conversation between Christina and Colby. So, you know, Colby's been trying to do this collaboration with Christina, and she says that Christina's been dodging her. So now that they're face to face, you know, Colby is just like, where you been? Like, I've been trying to reach out to you. You know, I was trying to do this collab. And Christina was just like, yeah, I did get the text messages, but you know, you never called. She said, no, I called you twice. Okay. And so then Christina was like, well, I was just kind of confused she said, yeah, that's why we needed to talk, but you're not answering the phone. Now, I'm listening to this conversation and I'm like, where is the disconnect? Like, where is there misinformation going here? But this is what I have pulled from the story, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But I think that Christina is feeling salty because Christina already had a collaboration in the works with this Harper Ray business. She was already working with them as an influencer. And Colby reached out to the jewelry designer, and the jewelry designer said, oh, I'm already working with Christina. You know, maybe you guys, probably the jeweler didn't know nothing. She probably was just like, oh, maybe you guys can work together, but I'm already working with Christina. So, I mean, you can maybe reach out to her and see if she'll want to pull you in on it too, but I'm already working with Christina. That's kind of how I feel like the designer was. Colby made it seem like the designer told her to contact Christina so that she will be on the campaign. You guys see the difference here? And this is why Christina's feeling like it. Christina's like, no, nigga, you trying to jump in on my bandwagon. I already had that deal in place. It's not like the two of us are coming to the designer together to do something. I was already there. So now you just trying to get in on mine? Yeah, I mean, I feel exactly how Christina feels. No, Colby. But see, Colby is so busy trying to talk loud and say how, you know, I'm an influencer too. Like, we can do the same thing, but you are missing the point. The point is, I already did all the work. Yes, I mean, it would be cool if I brought you in as an influencer too, but I don't have to. You're not going to sit here and make me feel bad for not making you do it. We weren't on this deal together. I was already working with her. So I understood totally why Christina was mad. And Colby was trying to make it seem like Christina was, you know, doing whatever. Now, of course, they didn't need the men to jump in because Christina, I think, was very clear on what she was saying. Brandon, though, wanted to be saying, he was like, you know, Christina always said I don't take up for her, so now this is his time. But he wanted to say something too because he already had been told Christina that he felt like Colby be biting off of her. So he was just like, you know, Colby, you know, Christina already had this going and now here you want to come, you know. She was just like, we can all do the same thing, Brandon. And then here go Russell, you know, you don't never have to talk to my wife. Don't you ever talk to my wife again. We leaving. I was like, Russell, now, what did Brandon do, really? I mean, Brandon did say something negative to Colby or whatever, but it wasn't like Brandon. They kill me on these reality shows now that men can't talk to women. I don't know what earth that people live on. It's like only women are supposed to get into it with women and men are supposed to get into it with men. It happens in businesses every day. Men and women get into it every day. You know, it don't have to be disrespectful, but I mean, we ain't always gonna agree. Okay, we not gonna always agree. So it just kills me how on these shows now that's the new temperature is men can't address women and vice versa. Men can talk to women, women can talk to men. I can have a problem with a man can have a problem with a woman. Okay, it's just all in how it's handled. But whatever, you guys, that's it. Let me get on off of here. All right, you guys, make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.